What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to my third video today. Oof. And welcome to a brand new series. Now, this series, ladies and gentlemen, this series is going to be a great one. This is going to be a great one. This is called, not Storytime with Shadow, that's a dumb name. We're going to call this The Life of Shadow. Well, okay, no, that's garbage. How about just my life? Yeah. It's not gonna be a draw my life video. I can't draw, so it's not gonna work. So in today's video, it's gonna be a series of videos that we'll be doing probably like all in one day. That I'm gonna be going over my life, some stuff about my life, from when I was born in 2009 to here in 2025. But it's probably not gonna be a series. What if I just do a whole one long like 45-minute video? You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so it's gonna be my life story. My life story. Here, so I was born on August 27th, 2009 in Farmington, Connecticut. Now, I don't really know much about my childhood. I mean, up until my school days, that is. I know I don't really know. So, back in the day, I was born blind, right? I have cataracts. So, essentially, what had happened was, I was able to see up until I was like 6, maybe 7. So I was able to see a little bit. Like I was able to run around the house. No, I was able to see where I was going, right? When I was younger, I used to play video games. I used to be able to see. Like, I played this game where you can drive around in cars and get steal people's cars and stuff. Almost like GTA, but like a kid version. I used to see what the cars would drive, and I would just go run chase after them and stuff. There was another game that was really popular back in like 2017. It was like Lego characters, I think, and you could drive around in cars. I used to take this cop car and jump off the bridge with it. It was so fun. It was like it was a mobile game. I used to play it all the time. And it was like people that would drive around the game and stuff. I used to chase them, try to chase the bus and try to steal it. It was the bus all I was always driving the little bus around. That was so fun. I used to drive that onto the highway and then I just jump off the bridge. I jump off the bridge and whatever. That's the game. So when I was around 3, so I guess I started preschool back in 2013, which ironically is the same year The Last of Us came out. No joke. But I guess I did, yeah, Gmail. Okay. I guess I did preschool for 2 years. So I was in preschool from 2013 to 2015, and then I started elementary school. I started kindergarten for 2 years as well. 2015 to 2017. Then when 2017 came around, I stopped going to school for 2 years every time. So I wouldn't be staying back anymore now. I went to first grade, second grade. Um, now I have a couple of school things I want to talk about. So I started learning Braille in around 2015, probably around 2015, when I was like a kindergarten kid. Now I was always known as the cool kid back in kindergarten. Like I was like they would call me the mayor for like 5 years when I was over there. I was there for like 8 years, 9 years. But because I stayed back 4 years. I stayed back 2 years preschool, 2 years kindergarten. So I was basically there for 4 years plus 5. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 years I was there. Holy crap. I was there for half a fucking decade. So, wait, is that 9 years, right? Because I left in 2021, came in 2013. Yeah, no, 10 years. Wait, no, 8 years, 8 years. It was 8 years. It was 8 years. Continue, I was 8 years. It was 8 years, Chad. It was 8 years. So I was there for 8 years. Um, and a lot happened in that time period. So, yeah. So, let's see. So, I remember in 2015, I started learning Braille. And I was going, doing whatever. And we had, schools, have them drills and fire drills and whatnot. And I was always the kid that'd be scared of the hell of them. I hate fire drills. Even to this day. Even to this day, as a freshman in high school, almost sophomore, about a week from now, I got final exams coming next week. I still hate fire drills. I hate them. Cover my ears every single time. Loud. I hate loud noises. Now, I'm not autistic, but I don't like loud as fucking noises. I mean, I might be autistic. I don't fucking know. but, yeah, so, and around that time, 2015 is when I met my friend Riley. See, me and Riley has cerebral palsy, so, last name is Quinto. Coolest name ever. I call it RQ. RQ. RQ's nuts. I got it. But for real though, Or Riley Quinto, coolest girl ever. We've still friends 10 years later, chat. Holy crap. 10 years later, y'all. So basically, I met Riley around 2015. Now, there's a lot of teachers that I do know, that I do remember from that time. Miss Kelly was one of them. Oh, I freaking loved her. I forgot. What was the one? I think it was Miss Tanner, I think. Oh, I remember. I never really talked to her. Maybe like a few times. But I remember there was a bunch of kindergarten teachers I remembered from a long time ago. I talked to a bunch of them. Coolest ever. Coolest ever. So, basically, me and my friend Riley we met, and dude, me and her were like the closest of friends, dog. Like every Valentine's Day, every time I was at Stafford, the freaking lunch ladies, which they were the best, they were W as hell. Miss J was one of them. Freaking loved her. We'd always joke around and be like, "Get your dirty feet out of my kitchen." It was like we always did that. Even in fifth grade, we still did it because it was like good memories. So, they would put like flowers and shit on the fucking table. And me and I would we would just roll up and be like, no, that's just actually crazy. So we would do that, and then 2016, nothing really big happened. I joined Unified Sports though in 2016. That's when I really got started with Unified Sports and all the game and all Unified stuff, where I am today. And then 2017 rolls around, and yeah, um, I got my Braille Note Touch for the first time back then. Was it 2017? 2017, yeah, I was like 7. So the Braille Note Touch, which I still have, it's the Plus now, it's remodeled. It was a device that, it's like a tablet mixed with a computer with a mix of the Braille display. It's fucking dope. So then, after all that happened, um, what's the next? Oh yeah. So back in 2017, February 2017, prior to January, maybe March, I don't know. It was like 30 fucking degrees outside. And I was coming out the bathroom and we were going to gym class. I was going back in the gym class, but my para, Mrs. F, fucking loved her, back kindergarten through, I think, first grade? And then I had Mrs. H from first grade then onwards. And let me tell y'all something, Miss H was one of the coolest fucking parents in the fucking world. Oh, no doubt, gang. She was the fucking greatest. I saw her like 6 years ago at the press shop at one time. Maybe like 2018, 2020. Maybe it was like 2020. It was like 2018 probably. Saw her for the first time in a long time. Loved her. Freaking loved her. So, basically, back in February of 2017, somewhere around there, I was coming out of the bathroom. We were going back in the drill class. Fire went off. I'm thinking, oh, great, not another fucking drill. So we go out there. It's freezing as hell. It's like 35 degrees outside. We're out there for 30 goddamn minutes to find out that there was a fire. There was a fire in the gymnasium. And I'm like, bro, are you kidding me? Really? A fire in the gymnasium? So we go back in there and it be smelling like smoke. I'm like, god damn, it be smelling. Okay, I didn't say that. I said I was only 7. I didn't say that. In my head I did though. I was like, Jesus Christ. So then 2018, nothing really big happens, but there was a girl from I think it was Bristol Eastern that came to our school for a few days. I forgot her name though, but she was really cool. Really cool. She was like a senior, I think. 2018. So which was like 18 she was born in like the 1990s. But yeah. So then I go into third grade in 2018. My teacher, Miss Gendro. I remember that name too. She was awesome. I loved that teacher. She was W, bro. She was a fucking cool teacher ever. So then we're gonna get to the bus shit in a little bit. So Miss Gendro was my third grade teacher. I remember that too. Coolest teacher ever. Loved her. And then fourth grade comes around. Now, I forgot my teacher's name back then, but back in second grade. We're going back to second grade for a minute. I remember we used to do this thing back in second grade till the end of the year where we would take a book and you'd go to a certain classroom and read to the students or read to like a partner or some shit. And I remember I had to go to this classroom. I think it was fifth grade. There was this girl named Brooke who I still remember to this day. I think if I time it right, she's probably in senior year of high school now, maybe college at this point. Hang on, 2018, I was second grade, so she was fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. That was like, I was in 6th grade, and she was in 8th grade. So I mean, she's probably around senior now, probably at Bristol Central or Bristol fucking Eastern. Or she moved away. So me and her, I had a crush on her, but I was in 2nd grade, so we couldn't do anything. So I would see her, whenever I'd see her, I'd give her a big old hug, I'd read my book to her. I'd always ask to read with her because she was like my best friend. And then, so back to 3rd grade here. 3rd grade was pretty fire. Nothing really happened, nothing really big happened. So we were in gym one time. And I still remember this too. This memory was so funny. We were in gym, and we were playing this game called Dead Ant. Now, if you don't know what Dead Ant is, it's a game. It's a tag game where the students would take the pool noodles, and you would tag someone. And if you got tagged, you have to lay on the ground with your feet up in the air like you're a fucking dead person. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is actually funny as hell. So then I got tagged. I'm just on the ground, freaking dead. I'm not dead, but I was. And then Miss H comes around and just picks me up like a freaking twig and just brings me to the little hoop where like safe zone was and puts me on bar coffee. She did it like 2 times. I freaking loved her. Miss H was the funniest. So I got picked up in 3rd grade a couple times. Um, Mostly during the game. And Miss H was the freaking coolest. And yeah, W. So then, 4th grade, that's when COVID hits, and freaking, of course, we had freaking 2020 and COVID and pandemic crap, which I thought was actually the coolest thing in the freaking world. So then 5th grade comes around, and we couldn't go to school for the first, like, half the fucking school year. We came back after Christmas break. So, Christmas break comes around, whatever the hell. After that, no, okay, we're gonna skip right to June. June 2021, a month that I'll remember in infamy. Why? Because one, the end of my school year, but the end of my Stafford year, dude. So it was a half day that day, and I remember coming at the school that day, thinking, holy hell, last day of school. W, right? I'm all excited for summer and shit, but I was like deep down I knew that this was my last day ever with my, I guess, family. Not really. I mean, I kind of saw my teachers and peers as like kind of a family, second family, I guess, maybe a second family. But that was my home, man. Technically not really, but so then I'm at lunch, and the fucking lunch ladies are coming out in a single file line with their football team running on the field. They're all crying and shit. I'm crying too, because I'm like, dog, it's the end of the fucking school year. Last time I'll be here. And we're hugging and shit. I'm like, oh, I couldn't get my lunch. I did eventually, but oof, it was sad. It was sad to fucking do. It was such a sad day. I'm on the bus crying and shit. Okay, no, I wasn't crying on the bus. So then middle school comes around, and we're gonna go to the bus shit in a little bit. So middle school comes around, and I go to West Bristol for my first 2 years. And West Bristol was a pretty cool school. I had 6th grade math teacher named Miss Dixon, Miss Dixon, I loved her. She was the best teacher ever. She was one of those, like, teachers that was all, like, soft-hearted, like, loving as hell. And, I mean, you're 12 years old. Come on now, you're a 12-year-old freaking... I remember one time, I cried because I missed my bus. I hated missing my bus back then. And let me tell you, every time I did, I'd get pissed off. I still do, to this day. I still do once in a while. But I remember I was walking outside the hallway crying, bawling my eyes out. I gave Miss Dixon a hug, whatever the hell. And then my dad decided to do a funny joke one time. 'Cause I was in band back then, and I was at a band concert. And we were leaving, and my dad was like, I'm not going to say it on video because I don't want this video to get freaking taken down. But I'm not going to say it because, my dad said it. It was funny. But it was also, she told me that not to tell her that he said that, so I didn't. So then nothing, right? So then in the late 6th grade, we're playing kickball outside in gym class, right? And I kick the ball, I'm running the bases, and I trip on the fucking base and I land on my knee. I'm fucking roll my ankle. I'm like, oh fuck. So I get up, I'm like a fucking warrior. I get up and I'm freaking limping across the damn bases, across the damn field, back to home plate to get the freaking run. And then I go inside, clean my knee up. That shit stung like hell. That one, I think I stayed in there because it was like the end of the day anyways, end of the year. And I had a couple paras down there. Now, West Bristol was the year I started falling off because paras were absolute dog crap. Like, dude, let me tell you, man. Them paras were awful. I forgot the woman's name. She was on me my braille note all the time. She would open it, fucking look at my shit. I was like, I got so pissed, I'm gonna punch her in the face. And then I had Miss Watson, who I actually hated toward the end of the year. I liked her at first because she was mad short. I remember the first time I met her, I was like, bro, I was like 4'8", and she was like 5 foot. I'm like, Jesus Christ, she's short as hell. We would joke around, you know. She was a good pair for a while, and then she just fell off, right? So then 7th grade comes around. I have an English teacher named Miss Cook, and I would always be just be like, hey, what you cooking? She would laugh at that. So then 7th grade comes around, and that would have been my potential to get my first girlfriend. See, I had a crush on this girl named Lola. I think it was like Oreshka or some shit. Oh, I fucking missed her to this day. Me and her, she was like a soft-spoken girl, and I think she was from a different country as well, but she didn't sound like it. So we would sit next to each other in English all the time, and like, and I think it was like homeroom or whatever the hell. And we'd sit next to each other, and I'd like high five her, and she would do the gentlest high five, kind of like Jeremy, kind of like Kendrick almost, my friend Kendrick, who was like, it was a sped kid. But yeah, me and her on the bus, we'd always sit there, and then this guy, I forgot his name, he was the bus monitor. He would joke around calling us like boyfriend, girlfriend, and shit. I'm like, man, I'm like, bro, one of these days. So then there was another kid on bus named Ethan. Now Ethan, well, my West Bristol was a K-8 school. So then Ethan was what's his name, was a second grader, and me and him were like the best of friends. We'd always talk. He wasn't I mean, he was autistic, but he would talk, like not nonverbal. But there was this kid. There was a couple of nonverbal kids at Stafford that like was like best friends. Like I was friends with everybody at Stafford. Like, there was this kid Ernest, who I was like I was like closest to him. He was like he was not a baby, but he would always like not talk. He was nonverbal, and I would hug him a lot. And there's another kid, I forgot his name, but he wasn't nonverbal. He was kind of like Jeremy, how Jeremy is. So he wasn't nonverbal. I would say hi to him all the time. I forgot his name. And there's another kid named Joshua. I hated that kid. He was so inappropriate. He would touch my butt and shit. He would like I'd be sitting there about like I used to sit next to him because me and him like oh, we were kind of friends, and we would sit there, and he would freaking lay me over his freaking knee like he was gonna spank me. He starts tapping my butt. I'm like, oh hell nah. So then there's another girl on my bus named Tamsin who I hate. My brother went to bus Bristol too, so we were on the same bus together often. Tamsin was an a-hole. There was no girl I wanted to punch more than her. She would spit at people. She would cuss, and she was a kindergartner. She didn't sound like a kindergartner. She was. So there was another kid named Ace. Now Ace was a pretty funny kid. He was autistic, but I would sit with him all the time on the bus. And dude, this kid was mad funny. Like he would sit there, and we talking about Jeffy and Chef Pee Pee and whatnot. He would always be saying that. It was that funny. And there was this other girl. I'm sorry talking about students a lot, but there's this other girl named Calliope. I actually kind of had a crush on her. Oh, she's so pretty. I kind of had a crush on this girl. I mean, she was the first girl. So I couldn't date her, of course. But I had a crush on her, and me and her were just I'd touch her a lot. Not like weird, like I'd hug her and shit. She loved me. I loved her too. So then, 8th grade. Now, in February of 2023, February 15th, 2023. Um, so I'm not gonna go too much into detail about my life because there's some dark stuff I'm not gonna go over. My mom's ex-boyfriend Justin, who I don't talk to anymore, but he was I'm just gonna say a-hole to my mom. He would beat her up and shit. So we're not gonna talk about that. But most of my school stuff. So February 2023, I moved here to Torrington, where I am now, and it sucked. Did I cry? A little bit. A little bit. It sucked leaving my friends behind, and now my friends are in freshman, sophomore high school, and freshmen, sophomores in high school now. And it was sad leaving my friends, especially Lola, who I freaking loved her. I think we liked each other, and we were gonna date probably in 8th grade, me and her. And so yeah. So then I moved to Torrington. I went to Torrington Middle School in March of 2023. That's when I started middle school, like 7th grade, last of the year. And there was a couple people that I had friends with. Like I made it on the first day, which I didn't really do any work because my first day, so I just got to sit there all day, which was actually the coolest day ever. Me and Amelia, my cousin, were at the same school, so I'd see her a lot. I'd see her a lot. And there's a kid that I became friends with right away. His name is Landon. I don't see him as much anymore, but we're still friends. We were best friends all through 7th grade, all through 8th grade. And Landon was one of a cool kid. He liked basketball, so and then we'd always draw stuff about like on the little whiteboard, like about basketball and court and stuff. And Landon was a really, really fun kid to hang out with. We would talk about like video games and sports and stuff. And then there's a teacher named Para over there, teacher, um, named Miss Fletcher. Now, I loved Miss Fletcher. I loved her so much, but I'd give her a hug a lot. Now, I know what you're saying, you're weird. I loved her. I freaking loved that woman. She was the coolest ever. Coolest ever. So we're going to take away from the school for a moment, because we're getting toward the current times. And we're going to go back to my bus days. Bus days, which still I've been recording here. Because it might have to be a part 2. Might get on one day. 21 minutes in. So, I started going on the school bus in 2015 when I would go on field trips and whatnot. Now, I started actually having an actual school bus that would take from my house to the school in 2017? Yeah. It was like 2017. And, I remember I went on bus 223. And the bus driver was named Miss Tracy. I mean, she was pretty cool. She was W. Before that, I had a bus driver named Miss Lori, who I liked her a lot. And then before that, I don't know. I don't know bus drivers anymore. But back to my kindergarten days, if you will. Oh, chat, this is about to get crazy. So, back in 2015, 2016, I went on her bus 3 times for field trips and shit. And there was none other than bus 401 herself, boys. Oh, dude. And you know her name? Miss Sandra. Oh, Miss Sandra was the fucking bus, bro. Me and her, dog, were like the closest of freaking student and bus driver duo you ever seen. Like, I'd go on her bus to say what, like, I remember I had a moment in, like, when I was in, like, 3rd grade where I was in unified sports and I was running with my homie and I fell and hit my eye on this guy's fucking short hair ass head. And then I saw my Sandra the next day, and oh my gosh, she loved me, bro. We loved each other. I give her a hug all the time. I think, if I remember wrong, I think she picked me up one time. Actually, picked me up. I remember it too. So, I want to hear about before. And 2018 comes around. Now, my bus driver, Miss Tracy, would not come sometimes. So, a different bus would come, bus 235. Now, bus 235 was driven by none other than Miss Sasha, who, she was this 2nd grade. She was the coolest. She was Hispanic, but she was like one of the coolest bus drivers ever. I went on her bus probably 4 times. And every single time I would go on that bus, I would try to look all gangster, try to look all cool. Like, we would always just talk. I remember her freaking, what was it? Bus monitor Miss Sarah was there too. And she was trying to teach me all these songs that freaking made no sense. That her culture or whatever the hell. I think she sat next to me one time. But oh my god, bro, the best bus driver ever. I know I'm mixing up my time and shit, but I'm just trying to get this over with. We're gonna get the story of my life going. So then, we're gonna skip forward to some personal stuff. Now, I got my first phone, which I have right now, my iPhone 13 mini, which you hear in the background, with voiceover, around last year. And Miss Fury, my teacher of the visually impaired, TVI, gave it to me. And I had to learn how to use voiceover. I kept it at school and shit. I took it home a few days later, and here I am today. I'd go on Twitter, and I downloaded a bunch of these apps. I started downloading Seeing AI, Bard, I know that's Bard and shit. And then I started downloading these apps like YouTube and Madden and freaking TikTok and stuff, and Snapchat I downloaded last year. So, and then, another personal thing, back at school actually, June 2023. This was the month that they had the Canadian wildfire smoke. Now, if you remember, this was actually very bad because New York City got the worst one at 405, which was the worst air quality ever recorded in the U.S. Not in the world, but the worst air quality ever recorded in the U.S. was 405, and because of the smoke. And I was actually outside one time for gym, and I started coughing and choking on smoke, so I had to go inside. Whatever that. I'm running out of ideas to talk about. Running out of things to talk about. Let's see, our first girlfriend. Yeah, I would have been a little in 7th grade, but nope. My first girlfriend was actually my homie Savannah, who I'm still friends with to this day. Now I'm gonna take it's gonna be a separate story. Me and Savannah. It's gonna be a separate video, but it's like that would have to be that's a long kind of story. But all I'm gonna say is we started dating in February, dated for a month, broke up, I got pissed at her, couldn't talk to her for like a month and a half, got back together as friends last month, 2 months ago in April, somewhere around April, May, with none other than my homie Keely. Thanks to her, it was W. My YouTube career, my streaming career, here it is, July 1st, 2020. Okay, you know what? Okay, we're gonna end this here. This is part 1. We're gonna end it here. We're gonna do part 2. Is gonna be, so this is my school life. This is my school life. Part 1 is my school life. Part 2 is going to be my personal life. Part 3 will be my YouTube career. So yeah, peace out. YouTube streaming career.